Yo guys, what is going on? It is Invin here, and today what I'm bringing to you guys is a video on whether, in my opinion, the Heart of Madness New World update was successful. Now in this video I'm going to discuss the way that they've changed and shaped the game, including how they've responded to community feedback. I'm also going to talk about the direction that the game seems to be going in as a result of basically this update, because it does seem to have shifted a little bit, which for the most part is a positive thing. And I'm also going to talk about future planned content as well as this month's upcoming update and kind of how it all fits together nicely as we are now coming towards the end of April. Now if you guys do go on to enjoy this video and you haven't already done so, please make sure that you do drop a subscribe down below with the notification bell on. I do upload brand new New World content every single day, so it would be amazing to have you here as part of the channel community. And don't forget to drop me a like as well if you do go on to enjoy, as it massively helps to support my content here on the channel. And without further ado, let's jump into it. So like I said, the first thing that I want to kind of talk about here is the way that this update fitted into the game and how it shaped the progression and things like that. So of course this update brought with us the blunderbuss, which is the newest weapon addition to the game, as well as the Tempest's Heart, which is the newest expedition. Now this expedition in and of itself is probably the hardest one that is out there. The non-mutated version is giving some players a bit of difficulty, even up to 600 gear score. Once you get past that point, you are getting it a little bit easier if your team's fairly coordinated, but it can be pretty difficult, particularly Nishatum and Isabella in the final form. Those are the final two bosses of the expedition, and they can be pretty tough to kill if your team isn't coordinated, and even if it is with a good gear score, you can still go down. So it is quite fun, in my opinion, for that reason. Now, obviously, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I do think that that is a bonus, and it kind of gives people something where they need to go, actually, I've got to get myself in check, learn how this works, start to beat it. Once you've done it a couple of times, you're sort of in the pattern, but it was a nice, refreshing thing to see that it wasn't quite as easy as some of the previous iterations of expeditions. Now, of course, we haven't yet seen the mutated version of this. I do believe that that is in the works, whether we're going to be getting it next month, after there has been quite a lot of fixes this month, particularly on the weekly updates, just focused around tidying up all of the stuff in that expedition, fixing the cheese strategies, all that good stuff. So maybe we could be seeing that soon. But as well as that, like I said, we did see the blunderbuss released, and this was again another big content thing, something that everybody was pretty excited for, including myself. And not only did they release this weapon, but they also gave us a double XP weekend pretty much straight after its release, which in my opinion was an excellent move. This kind of gave everybody the opportunity to level it up if they were able to get on for that weekend and actually did want to do it. And obviously a lot of us got that to level 20 within the first couple of days of it being out as a result of that, which has made a lot of people have a lot of fun with it. Now, of course, you've still got to get your expertise up to 600 so that you can use the max level ones, etc., and then level that to 625 if you do want it to be kind of like your main weapon. But it made everybody be able to get a taste for the weapon, which was fantastic. Now, not only that, it obviously allowed everybody to get double XP across all weapons, so you were able to level up any others that you wanted to do as well, which again was another great move, as it got a lot of players on, a lot of players engaging with each of the points of interest running around the world, and it made Eternum feel very, very full with the new release of course, the entire patch itself, but the new weapon as well, which was, in my opinion, like I said, very, very fun. Now, they also did a free Steam weekend. Now, this didn't go quite according to plan. I think they ended up basically, in my opinion, doing too many servers, and it didn't feel like an MMO. It just felt like people were running around by themselves. Not many people kind of liked that aspect. It would have been better to have them all on one server, or all on a few servers, I should say, and kind of together there, because I think that would have been more fun for everybody involved. But at least people were able to try out the game, and there was some positive feedback as a result of that, which is always a bonus. Now, the content itself does seem to be going in the way of community feedback, in terms of, for example, we've reduced the need for 3 players to bid the entrance for an expedition. Now you only require 1 player to be there in order to enter, which again, convenience. Lots and lots of quality of life stuff coming in through this patch, the previous patch, and of course the upcoming April patch as well, all centered around making there be less friction. And when we say friction, we mean basically stopping the player from being able to do the things they want to do more easily. So, for example, they've talked about an orbless system coming into the game in the future. That is something they are working towards. Right now, they've given us several different avenues to be able to collect these orbs, including rewards, faction vendor shops, all these different ways, as well as crafting. And, you know, like I said there, they are aiming to be entirely orbless in the future, where using the orbs just simply boosts your loot or something along a similar line to that, which I think would be a great addition, and hopefully that comes sooner rather than later. Now, again, there is still things and features that players are wanting. However, they do seem to be very, very receptive and responsive to community feedback. We've seen a lot of changes coming out as a result of things that the community have recommended, and for that, I think it is a fantastic direction that they've decided to pick up on. And if they keep going down this route, it is really going to help the player base to sustain its numbers and increase over time, as we are starting to see a gradual increase again on the player base of New World, which is amazing. I think one of people's main touching points here for this update will be the PvP side of things. Of course, we've talked about the blunderbuss, that fits into both categories. However, the Tempest Heart Expedition is great for people who enjoy that, but a lot of players are PvP focused. They're waiting for the 3v3 arenas. However, we did see quite a lot of rebalancing, quite a lot of things addressed in terms of the way that the weapons worked, especially looking at the new queuing system, and there has been changes to that, with further to come in the April patch, which pretty much addresses, again, the majority of the main concerns that us as a community had, which again is a great thing. However, there is still a few things that don't fit quite well. They are working on them. They have addressed most of them, which is another feature that I do like. They address most of the stuff on the forums and say, okay, we'll look into this, which is great communication from the developers and the community management team. So that is, you know, keeping us in the loop that they have at least recognized some of these issues. For the most part, right now, PvP is centered around a certain meta. However, quite a lot of players are enjoying this, and they are being able to fill most of the roles. Once we've got the changes coming into tanks, where the shield doesn't keep the attributes at the moment, it will shortly. I think this will be even better than it is now, and it does seem like there's a fair opportunity for most weapons. I would like to see a little bit more viability for the bow, but again, that is something that's been addressed and is going to be changed in the April update, so we'll wait and see how that actually turns out. Now, the update as a whole added a lot of value to the game, in my opinion. It gave endgame players an extra avenue. Like I said there, we're yet to see the mutated version, which I will be interested to have a go at once that is released as well, but they are still polishing up any final tweaks and adjustments needed to that expedition before they release that mode, which I do think is a good thing. They did add another level to the PvP and PvE with the blunderbuss coming in, and it actually sits at a pretty nice spot, maybe a little bit too powerful in certain situations with specific builds. Of course, that's going to be the nature of some things when it's not fully tested at mass level beforehand, which is impossible, so we may see some tweaks to that. However, in the April patch, as of yet, we haven't seen many adjustments to it, so it's still going to be looking like it's a very good weapon going into the April-May month, which again leads us on to the 3v3 arenas, which a lot of players are really looking forward to and are excited to see how this new PvP track works when that's released in what we're expecting to be the May update. Now, specifically with the Heart of Madness, I think it's clear to see that they put a lot of more time into this one, into checking the quality of it. It came out with a fairly smooth release for most of the servers, which is a fantastic thing. It was pretty well received pretty much across the board from everybody. Everybody seemed to say there was at least some things within the update that they really enjoyed, which I think is a big win in an MMO, because you've got a huge, vast variety of players that you want to please, whether it's PvP, PvE, traders, life skillers, people who like to roleplay. There's all these different kind of areas and genres of players that come together on an MMO, and most players from this said that the Heart of Madness is one of their favourite, if not the best update we'd had so far, which I think is a great thing, and it sets the momentum for the game. Now, what we need to see going forward then from this is a continuation to obviously polish out some of the remaining bugs and issues, particularly surrounding balancing and, you know, making each of the weapons kind of level so that you can at least viably choose them, even if they're not quite as good for certain situations. Overall, you could still pick them in some areas, which would be great. And, of course, we need to see the content continue to be added in a smooth and completed way, because I think that's the main thing that hit home from the Heart of Madness. The expedition, for the most part, barring the cheese strategies, which have been addressed pretty quickly, was pretty polished. It was amazingly stunning to look at. The gameplay was fun and the setting was fun. Yeah, okay, the boss's final 2 you could do some dodgy things with, but now that's been fixed, I think this is sat in a really good spot. The blunderbuss came out, and although some people say it's powerful, again, it's working mostly as intended. It may need some tuning, but there's no major issues there, which I think is, again, a really positive thing. And it is setting a good tone going into the April update, knowing that we're getting more balance fixes, quality of life updates, all of that good stuff to kind of improve the quality of the game, and then we're getting more content in May, fingers crossed, so it should be in a pretty good state. So overall right now, I think there is still a lot of work for New World to do in terms of the end game to add more activities for players, especially when they're maxed out 625 on multiple sets in all of their slots. You know, they've got a healer set, a bruiser set, a tanking set, all of that good stuff, DPS, whatever you want to do, they're all max level, etc. Got the life skills done, all of that stuff. So some more extra additions like the 3v3 arenas is going to be really crucial, and we can just hope that they are really, really good when they do get released to us. And then once they've kind of progressed the content-wise, we just need to make sure that the quality of the game is smooth throughout. They've done a lot of additions to the leveling process, particularly with the last patch again, making sure that this is as smooth as possible, and added some additional content, so you've got solo options for some of the missions which used to require you to go into an expedition. Now you could do an alternative solo mission, so it's making it much more widely accessible, which is great. Let's move towards more accessible content in endgame, hopefully. More general content to play, and again more fun repeatable content, which is what a lot of us are hoping these 3v3 arenas are going to be, because OPR is pretty decent, but a small scale version of that would be cool as well. But other than that, that is going to be it for today's videos. Those are obviously just my opinions on the Heart of Madness update, having played it for now almost a month. I think it's probably the best one they've done, and in my opinion is my absolute favourite so far because of what we got and the way that it was released pretty smoothly for the most part. So for me, really good, and let's hope it continues in that way. But of course, do let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. What would you like to see them do next? What did you think of the Heart of Madness update? And what is your favourite thing that they brought in with it? Did you like the blunderbuss? Did you like the new expedition? Etc. Other than that, guys, that is going to be it for today. So as always, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to like and subscribe down below, as those things massively help to support me and my content. And I will catch you again very, very shortly with a brand new upload. Take care, guys, and peace.